The presentation today is actually part of the wider project for the final volume. Title is How to Navigate Through a Perfect Storm, Opportunities and Risks for Romania. And I've tried to answer a few questions actually this research. This is just a part of it. And I'm trying to identify the provocation and risk for Romania and also the opportunities to be part of some regional projects, which not exclude actually the collaboration, cooperation within the European Union or NATO, however, just within as a part of it, because the current provocation are rising and we have a new geopolitical environment. We will become more and more challenging, not only for Romania, but for the entire region. So the war in Ukraine, the situation in the Middle East, and also Donald Trump's return to the White House, and the election in France, Germany, and Poland from last year's, and also from Romania, we had presidential election with virtual drama. Actually, you all know about it, with cancelling election, and this question related.
W tej chwili trwa śledztwo prokuratorskie, które ma na celu ustalenie dokładnych okoliczności i przyczyn tego tragicznego zdarzenia.
Zatrzymany 47-letni mężczyzna
Sorry, professors.
w dziwnej celi.
Yes, please. Please.
Okay.
It was technical. Thank you.
I can continue, right?
Yes, of course, you can continue, please.
So it was a year in which the European Union long conceived that a major war in Europe was never possible again, must continue to come up with adequate answers. Established as an entity to manage peace, the European Union actually woke up in 2022, facing a harsh reality with the Russian Federation initiations of the conflict in Ukraine. And this conflict has already been going more than 4 years. And it is known when, and it is not known yet, actually when and how it will end. Europe's shock was the shock of the continent, which understands that a major war, it is possible on its territory. So the question is, what has Europe learned so far, especially since the relationship, interaction, contacts, and economic connections produce peace, as the EU was established after the Second World War through the economic cooperation of France and Germany. It is also how the EU behaved later, when interconnection was producing peace. But however, up to this moment, everything we know about the Union, it has gone and drained away. Connection no longer means peace. Economic relationship no longer lead to security. On the contrary, connection, connectivity, and interactions can produce war. Hence, the decoupling from the Russian Federation and later the decoupling from China. But actually nowadays we are revisiting that decoupling because on the light of the new war in the Middle East, some European countries, major powers in Europe, they are reconsidering their relations with China, and I might dare to say even with Russian Federation. So the great challenge of European Union, it is that must reinvent itself in its very substance. The second challenge, which is less visible, is that the EU, which was established as a post-national project, not necessarily anti-national, but post-national, is waking up today in a reality that is actually national through the war on our borders. So here we have two major challenges that the Union must manage in one form or another. And when I'm saying Union, also you have to consider our states, our region, the regional states, who has also to consider a form of cooperation in subsidiary, if you will, maybe to become complementary to whatever European Union is proposing. Because as we see nowadays, even the policies in Brussels are not, or at least they don't look completely well fit for each country's tradition, identity, or needs. So, at the beginning of the 2026, the war in Ukraine has in some ways entered a shadow area as the result of developments in the Middle East, namely the US and Israel war in Iran. So we have to reconsider our cooperation, our stance toward the war, and to reconsider our geostrategic, geoeconomics, and security issues. So where is Romania in this new regional configuration? My article brings under scrutiny Romania's strategic initiatives in the Black Sea area. Theoretically, the research rests on neoclassical realism, which highlights the importance of subsystemic factors for states that seek to make strategic adjustments in a strained security environment. In my view, or in this research view, the strategic expertise or lack thereof is another subsystemic factor, along with strategic culture and the political calculus or different leaders that account for the emergence of misperception of given security milieu. In the case of Romania, the lack of strategic expertise has led during the years to misjudgment of the security environment in the Black Sea region and the connectivity to the other seas related to the Three Seas initiative. So these tactical errors were caused by a systematic promotion of high politics security agenda. Thus, the failure of Romania's strategic initiatives in the Black Sea region are not only systematic factors, but also the subsystemic lack of strategic expertise, which reveals a deficit of state capacity. By annihilating the low-level agency that small states can actualize in the tense security environment, the lack of expertise spawns peripheral regionalism, which is a failed sub-regionalism that occurs under specific security circumstances. A little bit from the next chapter, from sub-regionalism to peripheral regionalism. Conceptually, the most important differences between regionalism and sub-regionalism lies in the emphasis the latter places on cooperation rather than integration. Following this institutional logic, a sub-regional project usually asserts itself as a part of a broader process of regionalization. Here, the prefix sub refers to the suggestion that cooperation process is embedded in a broader regional political project of continental reach driven by the EU, but we also can integrate it in a regional project, namely the Three Seas initiative. In close connection to cooperation is not promoting a high politics security agenda. Considering that sub-regional initiatives are not independent from regional projects, the states that come up with such security policies refrain themselves from promoting a high politics security agenda. Those states aiming to make strategic adjustments through sub-regional initiative in an already strained environment tend to promote an agenda that revolves around low security concerns, such as economic cooperation, road or railway infrastructure, agriculture, environmental issues, or civil society dialogue. Hard security concerns, such military intervention, gas or oil pipelines, or some identity issues, are usually promoted by actors with hegemonic intention. A security agenda dominated by security concerns tend to create new division, whereas a low security agenda is considered more appropriate for negotiations in such format as 3SEI. Moreover, through sub-regional initiatives, namely our initiative, Three Seas initiative, certain states strive to increase their regional intention. A successful sub-regional project usually reveals its initiator's diplomatic ability to establish good political relations with its neighbors and thus to avoid strategic marginalization. States that have come up with successful sub-regional initiative may be perceived both at the regional international level as security providers and not only as security consumers. And here Romania, along with Poland, Hungary, and the other states, can become, as I said, not only security consumers to be completely dependent on some great power, either international power such United States, either as regional great power as France or Germany, but at their turn they can become security providers, particularly in nowadays environment. Therefore, these states present themselves as reliable candidates for wider regional projects. In an attempt to operationalize the sub-regionalism, Pangiota Manoli identifies 4 major features that states involved in such projects usually display: geographical proximity, lack of global influencing characteristics, no grand integration strategy nor security alliances, and participating in broader regional process. Therefore, an accurate discussion about also Black Sea Security Initiative and also the 3 Seas Initiative involves connecting the sub-regional project with the OSCE and with regional initiative of the European Union in the Black Sea region. But Romania's strategic initiatives in the Black Sea region can be more adequately captured as sub-regional projects that were subordinated to broader regional plans projected in the area by actors with hegemonic intention. So, in the brackets being said, or not really academic, we did not put on the table a coherent strategy for a better integration in regional projects, and we have all the will and all the capabilities to do so. In the case of Romania, the sub-regional initiative targeted the internationalizations of the Black Sea, for example, the presence of NATO military forces in the region. From a strategic perspective, the internationalizations of the Black Sea could have reduced Romania's foreign policy dilemma. Romania's strategic initiatives in our region can also be seen from a normative perspective, because the internationalizations of the Black Sea could have diminished Romania's status as a border country of both NATO and the EU. The aspect is noted also by Manoli, who points that a number of states are trying to increase their level of readiness to avoid further marginalizations. So basically, the states in our region should and have the will and the means to become more vocal and to explain and to put on the table at a higher level their needs, security needs, economic needs, identity issue, and so on and so forth. More specifically, by exporting democratic values to the region, by establishing better political relations with the riparian states and neighboring states, Romania could contribute to pushing the European Union's civilization border further eastward. If Romania fails in this endeavor, then it will maintain its status of European Union border country and will continue to be perceived in the West as not fully or truly not yet European, or as Europe but not Europe. States usually go through a process of international pre-socialization within sub-regional international organization before they acquire membership in wider regional projects. This is why Romania became the member of CEFTA and BSEC in early 90s. This pre-internationalization socialization is a necessary but insufficient condition for the success of international socializing inside organizations such as NATO or European Union. As I pointed out already, what is striking about Romania's sub-regional initiatives in the Black Sea region and wider regional area is that they were promoted not prior to, but after Romania's integration in NATO and the EU. And maybe this is one of the main roots of which, for example, Romania became very, very late in a timeline Schengen member. From this perspective, this is why the 3 strategic initiative of Romania for the Black Sea area could also be read as tactical moves seeking to increase Romania's readiness so that a low-capacity state will look like a security provider and not only as a security consumer. By exporting liberal-style democracy, that would be the best-case scenario, Romania could contribute to the mitigation of the political and economic unpredictability of the former Soviet republics. As such, Through the initiation of sub-regional projects, Romania would have generated security for itself and also for the EU's neighbors and implicitly for the entire European Union. I would say I just make a few points if I have 5 more minutes.
Yes, Professor, you are welcome. You have time.
Okay. So just to point out why Romania has the means, the resources, and the meaning to become a part of this geostrategic pivot, which, for example, 3Cs initiative could become or is trying to be. Romania's position is essential for any alternative regional projects. The Black Sea is the first issue. Romania is NATO's main littoral state, responsible for securing this strategic area. The Bosphorus and the energy routes from Caucasus increase Romania's strategic relevance. The second factor, the Carpathians and the Balkans. Romania links to the northern flank, Poland and the Baltic states, with the southern one, the Balkans and the Adriatic, and the north-south corridors and Trans-Carpathian infrastructure are of vital importance. The third one, resources and infrastructure. Romania is an active participant in the 3Cs initiative and can capitalize on energy projects, Black Sea gas, interconnection with Azerbaijan and Georgia, as well as infrastructural ones, motorways, railways, digital networks. The opportunities for Romania lie in strategic visibility, attracting investments, and consolidating energy security. Yet, the risks are equally significant. Russian pressure, internal vulnerabilities, corruption, political fragmentation, limited speech, everything what happened after the last round of election, and the danger of being caught between divergent interests, for example, the United States, Germany, and France. Thank you. I hope I didn't exceed my time.